Jen, did you see Kamala Harris's speech?
I did not, because I was doing an interview that you guys will see tomorrow.
Okay. So.
But I saw parts of it.
So I watched Kamala Harris's speech. First of all, I want to be clear. I want to be clear. I don't think Kamala Harris's speech was bad. I think that regardless of my feelings politically, it's fine to acknowledge this is a good thing that a woman of color is one of the top two, president or vice president. First time it's ever happened. I could say that with a straight face. This is not the woman of color that I would have preferred to be vice president or president. But I do think for our history in the United Corporations of America, particularly in this moment of racial reckoning, that it should be noted that it's historic and it's a good thing, regardless of who it is. I would think you agree, Jen, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we all know Kamala Harris is not who we wanted. It's, we could have had a Nina Turner VP, even Barbara Lee would have been great. So with that aside, with policies aside, which I know it's hard for all of us to put policies aside, but it is historic. It is good that she's a woman. She's a Black woman. She's also Indian. So I think we do need to acknowledge that those are historic, good things.
Right. So that's where my kindness ends, and I don't really care what the wine moms say. I don't care what the Resistance says. I don't care if the RNC sends out emails with my tweets. I don't care. I'm just going to keep it real because, as dangerous as Trump is, I think the status quo is just as dangerous. Frankly, I think Biden might be a regression from the status quo, actually. So first, I want to make the note that I want to play this CNN clip before Kamala Harris's speech, because I think it says it pretty accurately what Biden and Harris and how they're going to run their campaign for the next 3 months, which, I don't know, unless you have amnesia, seems to be exactly the way Hillary Clinton ran her campaign. Let's take a look.
That as important as it is to have excitement for a ticket in any year, in any scenario, the Biden campaign still is on a track right now to, they hope, keep this a referendum on the president and keep this a referendum on the president's leadership, or they argue lack of leadership in so many ways, but most importantly right now during this pandemic. And so, they definitely want people to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, but they also want to keep everybody, kind of zeroed in on the notion that Donald Trump should get fired. And they just want to make sure that these two are acceptable to be replacements for for Donald Trump. It may be an obvious notion, but it's really different than we've seen in so many times in the past when you have an incumbent president.
Jen, in that clip, Dana Bash is a CNN... Dana, excuse me, is a CNN reporter, and she's saying that the Biden campaign, yes, ideally we'd love excitement for a presidential campaign, but the Biden campaign is very, very keen on keeping this a referendum on Donald Trump. Well, 2016 wasn't necessarily a referendum on Donald Trump because it was an open election and Trump wasn't the incumbent, but it was certainly a, dart throw at Donald Trump, never ending. Trump is the Antichrist. Trump is Hitler. Trump is dangerous. Vote for me. There was no bold vision. The Hillary Clinton's bold vision was Medicare for all will never, ever, ever come to pass. So CNN is basically saying, and they know, they're talking to Biden campaign people. They're all in the same club. They all go to the same cocktail party. That you're not going to actually hear anything that's going to necessarily inspire not the Biden base. Like the older African-American women, they're coming out regardless, particularly now with Kamala Harris. The older, white MSNBC viewers, they're coming out for Biden and Harris. But you're not going to necessarily hear anything that's going to inspire Black people under 50, brown people under 50, white people under 50, independents. it's all going to be Trump is the Antichrist. Jen, do you recall that strategy working in a far, far galaxy away?
I do not, in fact, recall that strategy working, which is why we've ended up with who we've ended up with. The Democrats continue to just not get it. They don't understand the people of this country. They're trapped in this bubble of centrism and hubris that they just can't see past themselves. And here they are doing it again, of course. So
I watched the full Kamala Harris speech. You didn't. You were doing an interview, but literally within a minute and a half, this is what she had to say.
America is crying out for leadership. Yet we have a president who cares more about himself than the people who elected him. A president who is making every challenge we face even more difficult to solve. But here's the good news. We don't have to accept the failed government of Donald Trump and Mike Pence. In just 83 days, we have a chance to choose a better future for our country.
So to me, again, I want to be clear, there's nothing necessarily like terrible about Kamala Harris's speech. Frankly, she speaks a lot better than Joe Biden these days for obvious reasons. So I'm not criticizing her speech. It's not bad, but it's essentially the exact deja vu of Hillary Clinton's speech, Hillary Clinton's campaign. Within a minute and a half, she's already going at Trump. Of course, during a speech where you are running to unseat the incumbent, you're going to want to go after the incumbent, while simultaneously talking about what you're for, why people should be inspired to come out for you, what your bold vision is going to be once you get rid of this tyrannical dictator. That part isn't there. They didn't speak about what they're for. Biden didn't before Kamala Harris spoke today, and Kamala Harris used the buzzwords, those classic neoliberal phrases at the cocktail hours. We need to ensure people have access to affordable health care. So I'm sitting here, and I don't care if the RNC puts me on an email list, so be it. Truth is truth. Are they intentionally trying to lose? Because, and we're going to talk about this, Jen, but literally, Nate Silver, who I don't always agree with, Nate Silver just came out with his forecast. Here is what Nate Silver is forecasting. Let me get it. Joe Biden has a 71% chance at winning. Donald Trump has a 29% chance. That might sound good on the surface, Jen, but that's what Hillary Clinton's final odds were in 2016. Now, to be fair to Hillary Clinton, Biden's odds are at 71% in August of 2020. Hillary's odds were at 71% in end of October, right before the election. So obviously Biden still has time to improve his odds. But I kind of think, I don't know about you, Jen, it's a five alarm fire or 5-alarm something.
Yeah, that's right.
During a deadly pandemic and a looming depression, Joe Biden has the same odds that Hillary Clinton had in a on paper decent economy. I say on paper because the economy wasn't that great, but on paper decent economy in 2016. You would think Joe Biden right now would be at 80, 85, 90% odds of winning, but he's at the same exact odds. And I'm not going to read you the whole story, but the accompanying story that Nate Silver wrote was, it's way too soon to count Trump out. So I bring this up, Jen, because Biden has a lot of Hillary Clinton's old people around him, but he also has a lot of Obama's people around him. And it's remarkable to me, they did, I don't think it's the right pick for all the reasons I outlined yesterday, but all right, they pick somebody that's going to excite the base, but they're not actually running a different campaign. To me, Kamala Harris is kind of like Tim Kaine in terms of you already had the people you're exciting right now were already coming out to vote for Joe Biden. the people you are trying to get are the people that Hillary Clinton lost in 2016. That would be, again, I'm going to keep saying these stats. Hillary Clinton lost 5% of the black vote compared to Obama in 2012. She had 5% less Latinos come out for her as compared to Obama in 2012. And she had 6% less age 18 to 29 come out for her in 2016 compared to Obama in 2012. That is who you need to come out in increased numbers if you're going to beat Trump. They could try and get every Lincoln Project moderate Republican there is in America, but there's not enough to go around. And most of those people are going to vote for Trump or just not vote. So to me, running the exact same campaign Hillary Clinton ran on steroids is not a good idea.
Well, it seems like they just won't learn their lesson, right? They made so many mistakes in 2016. Well, Hillary was a mistake. Pushing her was a mistake. Their Pied Piper strategy to get Trump in the Republican slot was a huge mistake. And everyone seems to forget that point in the blue MAGA, as everyone's calling them. And they just, again, they're trapped in their own bubble. They have no idea what to do. They surround themselves with the very same people who helped Hillary lose. And of course, yes, they do have Obama people who, of course, won twice, but we're in a completely different political landscape than we were in 2008 or 2012. So they have to know what's going on now. They have to know how to inspire people beyond their base now, and they're just not doing it. Again, their slogan is Build Back Better. Who is that inspiring? Kamala, she has her K-Hive, who are very ferocious on Twitter and other social media, by the way, way worse than supposed Bernie bros ever have been, but they just got a glowing write-up about being a team or an army behind Kamala. Anyway, she doesn't inspire people. Like Jordan said, those people who were on the fence or have gone back and forth, there's nothing inspirational there beyond identity politics. Yes, she's a woman. Yes, she's a black woman. Yes, she's also an Indian woman. But beyond identity politics, which is all it takes for normie Dems to fall in love with a candidate, there's no pool there. There's no pool there for true progressives. There's no pool for independents, which, by the way, independents are the largest voting bloc in the country. They need to be winning those independents. And Bernie Sanders, of course, and Bernie Sanders' policies are extremely well liked by independents. But the Biden-Harris ticket, not inspirational. I would say she has maybe a little more charisma than Kane did, which wouldn't take much. Maybe a snail even has better charisma than him. But there's no inspiration there. Their campaign is falling flat.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.